same time. Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. Hope everyone's well where you are. And I've had quite a good night. I've been out for a nice meal. So that was a while back, but it's taken me a while to get around to uploading this live. I've been trying to avoid distractions, like I think procrastinations and whatnot. But I do get cold very quickly, so I didn't realise I was wearing. I forgot that I would put on a jumper, and because earlier on I was wearing a t-shirt and a shirt. I put this jumper on top because I thought it's too short-sleeved. So I was wondering why I'm feeling a bit overdressed, and it's a bit uncomfortable because I'm wearing quite a few layers. I've got this jumper, and underneath I've got a shirt which I was using for the picture for the thumbnail for the YouTube thingy, for the YouTube video, and also I've got underneath my top from Kenya, from the school I support in Kenya, the Rare Gem School. So so probably overdressed a bit, but I'd be careful when I take my jumper off or my t-shirt, because I don't want people to see my hairy stomach. I don't want to make people sick. So I've done that in the gym before, or at other place. I was really embarrassed afterwards. But I think I had just enough to eat because I'm kind of full, but not too full. Like sometimes I've eaten so much that I found it difficult to walk. I think especially with some food that's a bit too heavy. But this was nice, spicy food, quite hot. Anyway, this is part 3. I thought I'd keep that nice slide through as I do, but I may well just maybe I'll show my maybe I was going to take my jumper off and my t-shirt, my shirt, and then reveal my t-shirt, but I thought but I think what I'll do is in part 4, all being well, I will wear my t-shirt for people to see, but I'll try and bear the cold a bit. But anyway, rather than me having to take my jumper and shirt off and that kind of thing, as I was going to do originally, I think I've changed my mind on that one. But anyway, these are pointers number 21 to 30 as per usual. So I hope you enjoy them, with the theme of support on Sunday, supporting for success, supporting the native people from across the Americas for success, and success is how you define it. It's different for different people. One thing I was thinking about earlier is the song "Beautiful Sunday," and also there's "Live It Up," I think it's called, or something like that, which Celtic and Rangers supporters sing to each other. Each one respectively wins. So when they win, they sing it against us, sort of mock us, and we do the same back to them. But anyway, here it goes. So number 21, I hope to find out about historical successes from the Native American community and Native people from across the Americas, and hopefully with momentum it can help future generations, and maybe people can for their fellow Native American people, and also people from other communities as allies can mentor Native people from across the Americas, to hopefully build on that momentum. As I often mention, I hope to do similar for the Black diaspora, POC generally, people of colour generally, and also for neurodivergent people in November, because neurodivergent November. Moving on, number 22, I wonder what what future successes they can have going into the future, what they can achieve, and that kind of thing. As I say, initially I was going to take my jumper off and then take my shirt off, so that you can see my t-shirt, which is from the school I support in Kenya, but I decided not to do that, because I suppose you can already see my shirt that I was wearing, I was wearing to the restaurant, along with this jumper. I was wearing this jumper as well, and the shirt in the restaurant, because I get cold very quickly, as I say. Even though I've lived in England most of my life, so you'd expect me to be used to the cold by now, but I mean, I've been to some hot countries and I never seem to get hot that often. Not very often, anyway. In fact, when I went to Australia, my sister had to sort of force me to wear sun cream or whatever you call it, so that I would be protected from skin cancer and that kind of thing. Obviously, you have to be careful. But I think it might be an autistic sort of sensory issue. I don't know. Don't know why that is, but I always seem to be cold when other people are warm. Generally speaking, when I was at school, someone said I'm weatherproof. Like they said, when it's warm, I wear clothes that are supposed to be for the winter, and vice versa. So like, you never seem to feel the weather or whatever. But I always think I'm colder rather than warmer all the time. I don't really feel that I feel the heat that much. But be interesting if I did an experiment and went to some of the hottest places in the world and seen if I really can feel it. But sometimes I do, but not very often. I think more as I got older, I sort of feel the heat a little bit more. But anyway, nice life story. But moving on that note, number 23, I wonder if organisations I wonder what organisations we can get and convince to support the native people from across the Americas. So could we get the PIF, the Public Investment Fund, or even Aramco, even companies like Apple, Amazon, Alibaba, and others to Microsoft, for instance, IBM, and others to support native people from across the Americas, and see how they could get native people from across the Americas into STEM and like fund their projects and help them in business and that kind of thing, support startups, SMEs, and whatnot. I know when it comes to neurodiverse people, I know they have hiring programs, like Microsoft has training and hiring programs for neurodivergent people, especially those with autism. But yeah, I wonder if they could do even more to support neurodiverse people and members of the Black community and POC generally and whatnot, often disadvantaged groups, let's say. And maybe they can be given tax exemptions for such, hopefully it'll improve their PR and things like that. But yeah, I wonder if we could write to certain people and see how many big companies and whatnot, charities and NGOs would be happy to support neurodivergent people and native people from across the Americas and the Black diaspora and POC generally and that kind of thing. And I suppose if those companies see that there's enough people who support, let's say, Native Americans, they might think it's worth doing because it'll be good for their PR. So I think if a group is united, it can even encourage others to invest in them. But I'd love to know what you think. If you think I'm being naive, but it'd be interesting to see like if the PIF did want to invest millions or even billions or sponsor projects to the tune of billions. That would be pretty amazing, I think. But again, I'd love to know whether you agree with me or not. Number 24, I hope they get investment from all around the world in, like, as I say, sovereign wealth funds like the PIF, Qatar, and others to support Native Americans and also like support them in maybe fund projects like support them in sports as well as business, helping them to get into sports. Like I know the PIF sponsor things to do with tennis, motor racing and things like that. And I wonder if they could help more native people from across the Americas to get into that thing and fund their projects. So I wonder if you think I'm being naive or if we can aim for things and achieve the supposedly impossible maybe. Number 25, so hopefully they can achieve so many great things with that investment. And maybe we could advise them as well how to use that investment. And I mentioned before, like how in previous videos, how some Native American tribes get like 100,000, I think it is, or even a couple of 100,000 for graduating. But if they put that money into an investment fund, I wonder if it would go further, and maybe even say whether you graduate or not. But I suppose they might say that the idea is to push them and that kind of thing. But I'm not the biggest fan of academia, as I've said in the past, but I suppose there is some value to it. I wonder how important, again, people out there think academia is. So please let me know in the comments what you think about it. Number 26, I hope they'll be part of what I call the 6, as I said before. Number 27, I meant to say this in point number 21, I knew that was something I forgot, but I was thinking about historical groups and individuals and organisations which have supported Native Americans. I wonder if there's a list of that, and with that momentum, hopefully it can encourage others to do so. I've talked before about the Walk Hall and Trickle Wall of Fame and listing things on websites, YouTube and TikTok right now. But so on that note, I'm going to move on to number 28. I hope they can turn negative situations into positives. For instance, maybe they could look at historical moments like Wounded Knee, and many other things that have happened to native people from across the Americas, including obviously in America itself, and say this is where a certain date where our land was taken away from us or whatever. And just like in Australia, where they could have where they have instead of Australia Day, they have Invasion Day, and in America they have, and possibly Canada as well, they have um, Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day or whatever. A bit of a controversial one there. I know I support Italian soccer, but maybe it's something that Italians could be in touch with our roots of soccer, but we don't have to defend like a genocide or maniac, which apparently Columbus was. Apparently he used to do all sorts of terrible things, which I don't want to go into. But if they look at those dates where their land was taken away from them, they could have special commemorations where companies try and turn that from a negative to a positive. So IBM, Microsoft, and other big companies maybe, for instance, could donate to and invest into their communities and sponsor their projects. But again, I'd love to know if you think I'm being naive, or whether you think I've got some merits to what I'm saying, or whether you think it's something that could be pushed. And if enough people support native people from across the Americas, companies might think, yeah, it's worth giving them, taking a punt and giving them, like, even if some companies give them a mere million, I'm partly joking, but instead of billions, it might be millions. But even if they like Microsoft could easily donate $1 billion to native people from across the Americas, and it won't affect their bottom line that much because they are a company worth about 2 or 3, maybe even $4 trillion dollars. So they could afford to take that risk, and it might be something that might say, well, let's see if this works. This could actually make us even more money and help us do even better, especially if they're given tax exemptions. I think that'd be pretty cool if there were tax incentives for supporting native people from across the Americas. Number 29, as I've talked about before, I'd love to Eurasian generally and mixed race people generally, and also POC, people of colour, and anti-imperialists to support native people from across the Americas. And I think of I talked before about like AIM, the American Indian Movement, and how it's got AI, just like Anglo-Indian. Obviously it's AIM, but the Anglo-Indian Movement could work together and network together with AIM, the American Indian Movement. Anglo-Indians to help American Indians, all that kind of thing. I know probably not everyone likes the term American Indian. Some people might have their own terms. And on that note, I'd love to know from native people from across Americas, what are the best ways allies like me could support them, as I talked about before, and what are their preferred names. I suppose we're talking about preferred pronouns, but in this case, what are their preferred names, like Native American? Some might prefer Native American, some might prefer American Indian or whatever. Some might not mind either, or prefer, or be happy with both. And maybe there could be opinion polls. I talked before about I'd love to interview people one-to-one and do street interviews and things like Zoom chats, and talking in groups of people who want to support native people from across the Americas. And number 30, I am out. And please let me know if you have any ideas of your own.